Staff Hearing Officer, and I call the meeting of Wednesday, February 14th to order. Today we have two items on the agenda. One is a consent item and one's on the regular agenda. And I haven't received any requests for continuances, postponements, or withdrawals. So we will hear them in the order that they appear on the agenda. Under announcements and appeals, I have no announcements, and we've had no recent appeals. So I'll move to, is there anyone in the audience who would like to address the staff hearing officer on items not on today's agenda? Seeing no one, I'll go to the consent item, and it's an application for a coastal development permit on a project located at 237 San Clemente Street. It's in the coastal overlay, it's in the coastal zone, and pursuant to state law, we don't hold a public hearing on this item. However, it is noticed to the public, and I do take public comment into consideration. So there's no public hearing, and any decision I make today is final. It's not appealable, given that this property is in the non-appealable jurisdiction of the coastal zone. So I would like to note for the record that I did receive a letter from a neighbor on San Nicolas. It's 256 San Nicolas and 240 San Nicolas. And they had questions regarding statements in the staff report that indicates there's an existing residence and an existing accessory space that was going to be converted to the accessory dwelling unit. And the fact is that the project there was a previous project on the property, and it involved the demolition of existing residence and rebuilding of the residence. And this is an amendment or a change to that project. And there was a proposed accessory space above the garage, and now it's proposed to be an accessory dwelling unit. And state law was changed at the beginning of this year that does allow the processing of a ADU or accessory dwelling unit in conjunction with the construction of a new residence. So the staff report could have been a little clearer on that, but it is consistent with state law to allow this to go forward right now. Another question was regarding the FAR. And in regards to FARs, given the city does not have an existing ADU ordinance, the FARs do not apply for an ADU project. However, given this project was proposed under the old rules as an accessory just an accessory space, that FAR was reviewed as part of that project. So although it's not applicable for the current request, it was reviewed and processed under the old request. And then the third point was in regards to windows. There's always concern with windows, second-story windows. Again, since the city doesn't have an ordinance specifically related to ADU, the city is limited in what they can and cannot require on these ADU projects. In regards to my purview and the fact that this is in the coastal zone, I have a little more purview in terms of what I can require and not require. However, the proposed second-story space that's being converted to an ADU conforms with the zoning requirements. They're not asking for a modification, setback modification. Therefore, I have limited purview in being able to review the windows and require changes to them. And again, since this was reviewed with the Single-Family Design Board when it was proposed an accessory unit, that's part of their good neighbor policies, and so that issue should have been addressed at that time. And then the final note was regarding without a public hearing, and I explained that part. So I have looked at that and reviewed it and took it into consideration in my decision. And I did go out to the site and do a site visit, and I confirmed it is under construction. It's undergoing. But in terms of the coastal policies that might be triggered or be an issue in regards to this property, the staff report does a good job in outlining those in regards to being compatible with the neighborhood in terms of size and scale. And the other one is affordable, trying to have provisions for low and moderate income housing. There is no ability for me to put affordability conditions on this project. However, the size of the ADU is small. It's 553 net square feet, so it could be considered affordable by design. And so I can make the finding regarding consistency with the coastal policies. And then in regards to consistency with the code, the municipal code, it does provide, it does meet the zoning ordinance provisions regarding the height. It meets soil access requirements. It meets the open yard requirements and the setbacks. And so therefore, I can also make the finding that it's applicable not only with the coastal plan, but also our code. And so I would approve the coastal development permit, making the findings outlined in the staff report, but I will make minor changes to finding 2 just to incorporate the project's compliance with the zoning ordinance provisions, like I said, with solar and height and open yard and setbacks. And then in regards to the conditions, I see the applicant is in the audience, and you've reviewed the conditions, and you don't have any comments or questions?
I'm fine with the conditions.
Okay, you're fine with the conditions. I just have one comment. I don't think I need to add it to the conditions, but there are these recorded agreements that need to be made, and I saw that a zoning compliance declaration was required to be recorded against this property for the current project, and one of the follow-up agreements will be the release of that. So it's just a follow-up measure. I just wanted to let you know for the record, although it's not stated in here, we do want to release that.
In lieu of the covenant for the ADU.
Right, yeah, so then, yeah, that will be released. If you want to come up, you can state your name. Do you want to state your name for the record?
Yes, this is Tom Oxner, project architect.
Yeah. So what it would be is that we would record the ADU covenant that requires more than 30-day stay and the owner occupancy, and then we release the other one because the previous one only allows for 1 unit on the site. And so,
yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So I won't make any changes to the conditions. I just wanted to bring that to your attention. And with the change to the finding number 2, I could approve the project. And as I stated, since this was just a coastal development permit in the non-appealable jurisdiction, my action is not appealable. Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now I see the same people in here, so your applicant's not here yet? Well, how long do you think your staff presentation, because we have 2 options. I can take a break and give him 10 minutes to show up, or you could start on your presentation and we can see if he shows up. Okay, because I do have questions I want to ask him. So I am going to take a 10-minute recess. So at 9:20, we'll reconvene and give the applicant some time to appear. Sure. Okay, so I reconvene the meeting of February 14th, 2018, and I've given the applicant actually an extra 5 minutes to show up, and we've tried to call and contact him and left a message. Given the applicant's not here and we can't contact him, I will be continuing this item, which is 107 Cooper Road, indefinitely, as I don't know the applicant's availability for the next agenda. So I will continue 107 Cooper Road indefinitely, and we will be doing a new public notice announcing the date of the new hearing. And I adjourn the meeting.